And we're live.
Oh boy.
Yeah, everybody out there in Twitch that's looking at right now at the hold screen, it's going to be like that tonight. So that everybody knows what you're watching tonight. Although I sometimes wonder myself. I am Carlos A.S. Lysing. I am the owner and proprietor and lead designer of Casl Entertainment. You're watching the first Betrayal, or World of Greyhawk campaign right now. Going around the horn, I'd like to introduce everybody to you, all the players today. We're over on our right. We'll begin with my friend Matthew, Bricks and Beholder's Bane. How you doing? Matthew survived a near-death accident the other day, so we're glad to have him here. Thank you,
just
Matthew.
Another day that ends with Y, right, Matthew?
You got it.
Just thank you for surviving that. We really appreciate it, because without you, I don't know what we would do. Over here, we've got Patrick Hope next to him. Patrick, who's playing Agrias of Tenebrous Hand / Kalaya of the Black Orchid. Patrick, how you doing today, brother?
I'm ready, man. Let's do this.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Over in the middle, right over there next to him, we have Jeremy Brazil, otherwise known as the Rainmar, the Wildlight. Rainmar, Jeremy, how you doing, brother?
I'm living the dream, dog. You know, this is what I do. It's what I'm all about. It's who I'm all about, and it's who I like to be with when I do what I'm all about.
And you can tell from the gray in his new beard.
They don't think it be like it is, but it do.
I can't compete with my boy Magnus, but if sometime tonight the opportunity presents, I'm going to go high, he's going to go low.
Over there on Jeremy's left would be David Aho, who's playing Arion. David Aho, how you doing, my brother?
Not too bad.
Now, for all of you up there who's wondering about the question mark in the top corner of your screen, that is because we have a special guest this evening. I promised the boys I had a little special treat for them. And your special treat today is Magnus Miller-Wilson, the great Magnus Miller-Wilson. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing great. Even better now. Thanks for having me.
For all of you guys who don't know who Magnus is a dear friend of Jeremy and mine from playing games with him over at Gary Con. Magnus is a great role player. He's also played in some other projects that Patrick and Jeremy and I have been in before. He's played with Matthew during our Lost Dog charity event last year. He's gotten to play with David over at Gary Con as well. So we're all old friends. Magnus is going to be playing more than one character tonight. So he's going to be... I would expect tonight's broadcast to be a little bit irreverent, a little bit fun.
That should
be out there, whoever, by the way, I didn't tell anyone this, but we're having a profile of Alfred Hitchcock over there on the left-hand part of our screen, on the bottom. Anyway, guys, so Magnus is here with us this evening. Magnus, I'm thrilled that you could be playing with us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
It's no problem whatsoever. For those of you guys who are used to me doing Casl Entertainment business at the beginning of our broadcast, we're trying something new. I'm gonna hit everybody up with it at the end. We're gonna get right to the action so that we have a chance if we start to run over long. That way, these guys I can cut them loose. So, are you guys ready to begin play?
Oh yeah.
All right. I think I'll begin with Jeremy right now. Okay. I'll leave you three to be for the evening, for right now.
For the evening?
Yeah, for the evening. Last time we saw Jeremy, he was in the temple of Persephone and Hades, high up in the mountains in Radek. And he over in the Rakers Mountains on the southern border. And we're going to show you guys the room he's in there, which is over on Twitch right now. Jeremy,
I am not on Twitch yet.
That's okay. You can take your time getting on there. I'm going to hit everybody with a little bit of recap.
Yes,
Jeremy has been exploring this the temple with his various his compatriots, which consists of his warg cub, which has gone by about 16 different nicknames, but right now we'll call Monty. He's going with the monk, who is a gnoll, and that would be Karak. And Norik, who is his orc retainer. Now, Norik became his orc retainer through basically him destroying the entire tribe with the rest of his group. It was kind of a show of power, and since then they've become kind of fast friends. Melina, the elvish swords mistress, was with him at one point in time, but she's left with the rest of the group to go back to the headquarters. And when we go to the rest of the group, we'll start getting in touch with that part of the story. Jeremy, that is your party right now as we speak. Okay, it's you, the Gnoll, the Orc, and the Warg. You have holed up in that room that you see on the screen right now. Hey, thank you so much, Lord Gasamba, for subscribing. For those of you guys who see it right now, we have our new subscriber, our graphics and sounds up, courtesy of the Merchandise Valkyrie. Thank you, Merchandise Valkyrie. They look and sound great. Jeremy, Rainmar has just woken up from after a long. Hey, Hydroxus, good to see you. We've just woken up after the night of sleeping. You've holed up in that room over there. As you can see, that little alcove over there on the right-hand side of the screen next to your room. If you remember right, that was a statue of Zeus that you found. And you're ready to go for the remainder of the day. What will you like to do?
Just real quick, so the room that I'm in is the room that I had Brother Karak clear out?
That is correct.
Okay, so it's empty now. Are we holed up in there as a group, or are we holed up in there?
I would imagine that you would hole up there as a group. However, Norik, being nocturnal, is out by the alcove, and he has been keeping guard over the room all night long.
Does that mean that I need to be factoring his sleep during daytime hours?
Yes, it does.
And what about Monty? What is she? Is she sort of nocturnal as well?
She is, but she's more diurnal right now because of your schedule. She's kind of gotten used to that. She's curled up right now next to you in a ball. She kind of growls when she sleeps at this point, and she's bigger than you now.
Oh, bullshit.
Yep.
All right. So, okay. And when she growls in her sleep, does she say anything in Orcish or in Common or anything like that?
Not really. Not really. She just kind of growls a little bit. It's more the way that she breathes now. She's getting big enough that it's natural. I got you. All right. Okay, so she's still pretty. All right. So waking up first thing in the morning, I want to give... So Brother Karak has already done the cleaning in this room. Yeah, the whole room is cleaned up. Behind you is that big bas-relief of Persephone and Hades that you saw before. Okay. And in the corner, there were those rags there, the moldy rags that were part of the... they looked like they were clothing, but they've been moved since then. Okay, so we just have... Yeah, what I would probably do is just real quick rotate maintenance between Norik and Brother Karak since they're awake at different times. Sure. Now, there was a section of the temple that was over by where Asperion was. There was living quarters. That's correct. Is it inappropriate for us to take those living quarters and make them functional again? Or it is not. Would you like to do that? Yeah, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to take Demetrios' room as my own. Okay. I'd like to set up Norik, Brother Karak, and I almost said Stinky, Monty, as in those rooms that are next to Asperion's room. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to prepare Atria's quarters as a guest quarters. Okay. Okay. That's on my list. Another question. That is Atria's room right over there that we are zoomed in on right now. Give me just 1 second. That's fine. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and it has the closet in the back. That is correct. Was in and all that stuff. Okay, I'm up to speed, more or less. So the first order of business was just to double check and make sure that I guess I could ask Norik about it if the fire wolves have been fed and cared for. Oh yeah, I made sure I fed them, but I gotta tell you, I almost lost a hand doing it. He goes, I managed to down a goat outside. There's wild goats that kind of roam the mountainside, and I nailed one of them. I tried to feed it to them. These guys, they weren't kidding. They haven't eaten in a long time. Did they look any... I mean, it's been a couple of days now that we've been feeding them, right? But on the time... just help me with the timeline. It's been a couple of days. Yeah, it's been a couple of days. Uh-huh. Okay. Did they look any better? I can't really tell. They're on fire. Fair enough. It's hard to argue with that. Okay. I mean, looks like a bonfire, walking bonfire in the shape of a dog to me. I got you. Another thing I want to check is in the last episode,
or the one before that, I put the bones of the firewolf pups into the bowls. Was there any change in what was on the bones?
Yes, they have turned into haunches of roast meat. They're not growing into full wolves, or they're not healing per se, but it's almost like they were. They're the bounty of the. It seems like what happens with these bowls is that when it regenerates some living material, it regenerates it into foodstuffs.
Okay, so the bones of those fire wolves basically becomes roasted meat.
Right.
Is it anything that Norik would eat? He eats.
Oh yeah, he's more than willing to try it. Will you let him try it?
100%. Yeah, anything.
He says this stuff is great. He goes, it's a little on the spicy side, but it's great.
It's spicy.
Oh yeah, it's like shit. You know when you eat a. No offense, I know you're half and half, but when you eat a human, and you've like burned their cabin or something like that, and you pull their leg out. And it's kind of got that smoky taste to it. That's what it tastes like.
Happens to me all the time. Yeah, sometimes I get their...
Karak just kind of shakes his head when he says that. Like, what an uncivilized barbarian.
So, I covered the food. The last thing I wanted to cover, because I know we got a lot of players tonight, was I had grown some of the chrysanthemums in the bowls. I had tried to renew them.
Those come back completely healthy and hale and hearty.
I'd like to give instructions to Brother Karak today that we want to start planting the prismatic chrysanthemums around the temple and potting them and vasing them in a manner that he thinks is appropriate to his knowledge of Zanye.
Are you going to take out any? Are you going to take any of that responsibility on yourself?
Responsibility of what?
Of replanting the blooms.
Yeah, I'll do some of it too. Yeah.
At one point in time, about a day ago, you were over in the area where the Minotaur used to be. That portion of the temple, and Asperion approached you. And he asked you what you were doing, and you told him, and he just kind of nodded. Asperion, you have come to realize, is a man of war, not a man of religion. He didn't even worship, while he respected the gods, certainly, he wasn't given to worship of either Hades or Persephone. But what he does tell you is, he says, you should know something.
What's that?
Something stirs below us. Something long sleeping.
In the lower section of the temple?
He nods.
Okay. I guess that'll be my next agenda will be to plumb the rest of this freaking temple.
He nods. He says, I cannot go with you as I cannot leave this area except in the defense of the temple. Whatever moves down there is not... It does not seek to destroy the temple. It may seek to destroy you, so you should be on your guard, but not the temple.
Okay. So it's another guardian, you think?
Perhaps.
Okay.
He says, you have my spear and you have the knowledge of the Myrmidon. He says, I would expect that you would be able to handle whatever it is. He nods, kind of.
Okay. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to Brother Karak that I'd like to establish a library of sorts in the temple. And that could be either in the extra room of Atria's quarters, or it could be in the room that we're in right now that we've swept the rubble out and cleaned up.
He says, I believe that his common is actually quite good. He's much more civilized. And I'm going to zoom over for a moment where you actually are at right now, which is in Dimitris's old room. And he says, I think that this room is much more well suited with having the desk, having the better desk.
Okay.
So I'll begin that labor immediately.
He
says, do you seriously intend on plumbing the depths of this place?
I do.
He says, when will we accomplish this deed?
After we get some shelving up in my my new room, and I want to give Norik time to rest. He's been standing guard all night.
He nods. He says, and what should we do with the wolves?
For now, we're going to leave them. They've been fed by Norik overnight. We'll feed them again when Norik wakes up again.
He nods. Very good. So you begin that labor right now, Jeremy. Ariane, Kalaya, and Brixton. Your group, meanwhile, to catch everyone up in the crowd on where they are, they left the temple 3 days ago, or 4 days ago, I should say, to head back to the Procan's Eyes headquarters. The whole reason why these gentlemen and lady are in southern Radek right now, in southwest or eastern Radek right now, is because they were hired by a group called Procan's Eye. Procan's Eye has they're an exploratory group that wants to plumb the depths of the Solnor Ocean, looking for details on a sunken elven civilization. These gentlemen have been retained to build their headquarters, which they have. It's a big semicircular palisade fence with a moat around it, and some permanent buildings inside of it. And they're building a great raft, which they intend on taking out to sea with the ship captain's ship. They've retained a pirate ship captain by the name of Charissa de Tendresse. Charissa is going to help them take that out there, and from there they're going to use an apparatus of Qualish to plumb the depths of the ocean. They've stuck around despite the fact that part of their job is already finished. Now they're there to help actually with the exploration. Your group last night, after everybody had handled their business for the evening, managed to go to sleep. Ariane, at that point in time, you finished all of your goods that you'd been working on. They're now finally complete. Brixton, Lily, and Sunny trained for most of the night. They're training with Melina for the most part. And I should mention who the group is here right now. It's Ariane, who is a ranger cleric, as you can see on the bottom of the screen through our rollers. It's Kalaya, not Agrias. Kalaya is Melina's sister. She's a member of the Tenebrous Hand, the ancient elvish order of swordmasters. And meanwhile, we have Brixton Beholdersbane on our right. He's also accompanied by his two apprentices, Lily and Sunny. Along with that bunch, Calissa and Trotty would normally be here. However, she decided at the last moment she just suddenly up and left the Procan's Eyes headquarters. She said she had business that she needed to take care of. With her were a few of men under the service of a paladin of Daern by the name of Dorian, who is here helping take care of the headquarters. Also, Herrick, the dirty fighting fighter that is one of Agrias' good friends. In fact, Kalaya, when you wake up, you and Melina see the sun filtering through the permanent area that you've been housed in. And you see Herrick outside, and he's staring at the ground. He's just staring at the ground right now. What will you do, Agrias?
Walk right past him with Melina.
Melina kind of looks at him. He looks back at her. He says, hey, what's your name? He looks at you.
Kalaya.
Oh, yeah, Kalaya. Hey, what do you know about this whole shadow stuff?
Enough.
Because I've been staring at mine here all morning long. I'm trying to jump through it to try and see if I can get to Agrias. And all I'm getting out of it's a headache for the most part.
You gotta engage more than one brain cell.
She looks over at... Melina looks over at you. Kalaya. I mean, is this something you can help me with or what?
I think Melina would be more than happy to help you once we get back.
She kind of just slumps her shoulders when you say that. Oh, all right, that's good. All right, well, but this is something we can do, right? Because I'm trying to think of ways we can get them. This is what I got so far, right? I made a big lasso, right, out of like about maybe 5 or 6 things of rope links. I figure if we throw it in there to him and we attach like I don't know, like a lantern on the end of it, he'll be able to see it in the dark, right? So he'll know we're trying to get him, and then we can just all pull him out.
So you're gonna throw a lantern into the darkness.
Well, yeah.
And you think Agrias is gonna be the one to grab it?
Listen, do you know Agrias?
I do.
That guy can do just about anything he puts his mind to. I know if we throw that lantern in there on that rope, he's gonna grab it. And we'll yank him right out.
Okay, well let's give it a shot. You got
Melina looks at you like, "Are you insane?" Brixton, you're at your carriage, and there's a knock on your door.
I am. So I open the door.
You open the door, and it is Dorian. He looks at you. He says, "Good morning." He says, "I just want to let you know that the work is done." And he hands you a set of keys.
I say, "What work?" And I throw him a wink.
He turns around and walks away. David,
Yes.
there's a knock at your door. At your at the door of your particular your permanent residence.
All right. Answer the door.
You answer the door. Says, and it's the captain, Captain de Tardras.
Long time no see.
She looks at you. Long time no see. Hey, listen, we've got places to be. She says, your buddies got here yesterday. She says, just so you know.
Well, I was fast because I thought they weren't going to show up till the day after.
She goes, yeah, well, they made good time and they're here. But we've got business. I need as many of you guys as I can spare.
All right. I also need to... when are you looking and heading out?
Oh, in the next hour, she says, looking at the sun.
Because I've got a couple other things we got to try to figure out. We don't know anything about Einar Herrick that we lost.
She kind of nods a little bit. She says,
and I want to do it. I want to try to do I prayed and tried to figure out a portent spell to try to figure out where they might be. So
listen, let me tell you something, Ariane. The business that I have is up near Marner. I'm taking you all on boat up the coast towards Marner. When our business is concluded, I suspect that the information that we might be able to get is going to be extremely helpful.
Okay.
Maybe it will lead to your friends. I don't know.
So we're going the opposite direction of where they were at before.
That is correct. She says, "If you can, go get your friend Brixton. I'll handle the elves."
I also need to speak with Melina at a point in time here also. Preferably and what I was talking to you earlier.
Yes.
I don't know how much time is going to be involved in some kind of that type of ceremony, if you want.
Right.
So I don't know if we can do it, because technically I'd rather do it on land in this area.
Of course. Okay, so you guys all get together. Sarissa rounds you up, the bunch of you, basically everyone in the group. And she looks over at, you've had a chance to talk to Melina, Ariane. Melina is of the opinion that you guys should have at least maybe 3 hours to do that ceremony. She thinks it's a better idea to do it when you get back.
Okay.
Sarissa says, how many of you are coming? I think that the fewer of you that come, the better. I would say just you 4. She says, points at Ariana, Grias, Brixton, and Melina.
How long is this going to take, do you think?
Oh, probably the better part of a day.
Oh, just a part of it?
Mm-hmm. She says, don't worry. She smiles at you. She goes, I won't take you over long. She says, you have information that you need. I have information that I need.
To go all the way up to Marner?
She says, sometimes you have to go where the information is rather than waiting for it to come to you.
Well, I'm just saying for a couple, just a part of a day, that's many, many miles.
She looks at you and smiles. She goes, I'm one hell of a captain, and turns around and starts walking over towards the boat.
I mumble something about nitrous oxide.
Okay, so your whole group is heading towards Sharissa's boat. Meanwhile, Rainmar, your business is concluded. It is about maybe noon at that day. Everyone's eaten.
Okay.
What will your group do?
Let me just double check my notes here for the game. So we've done the preparations for the temple. So how much of the rooms have been? I mean, how difficult is it to prepare the rooms for people to stay in? Like,
not at all. Really, all it is cleaning.
Okay.
It's
okay.
all
So
just
that's easy to knock out.
Right. And Karak has been busy doing that over the course of the week, as you instructed him to do.
Okay, so we've got basically things set up for food storage, lodging,
Yes.
the potential for a library, which I'm trying to build. How much access do we have to wood? Obviously, we have trees all around us, so that's a no-brainer. What about stone?
Lots of stone. You're in the mountains, so it's pretty easy.
I want to look in the temple for what place might best serve to build a forge.
Nowhere here on this level.
Roger that. How long does Norik need to sleep?
Not long. He's about a 3-hour guy.
He's about a 3-hour guy.
Yep. He's used to living in very bad conditions.
I want to head into the downstairs of the temple now.
Okay, well, your group, and I will show everyone as we go, as we move the map out, begins to go towards that area.
Okay, this is me, Brother Karak, Norik, and Monty.
That is correct.
Roger
You
that.
find yourself in front of the stairway going down, which was, if you look at the room that you stayed in previously, which is on the screen right now, and I will blow it up a little bit for you. Let's see, how am I going to do that? Okay, so you're on that, that was the room that you were in previously, right over here.
Remember, I'm about 10 seconds behind you.
Yeah. That's the room that you were in previously. And you, let me see what we got here. Your group went around through the hallway, and you find yourself at the stairs.
Just for reference, right now the light is on the room that we started in. So the light has only just started to move. Okay.
Right, and then you find yourself at the stairs.
Got it. So the stairway down is not far from...
Not at all.
Got it. Okay. How far are we from the Flame Wolves?
Probably about maybe 300 feet, if you kind of a winding path.
Okay, forget that. Okay, we're headed down. We're headed down.
Okay, so your group begins to head down, and you find yourself at a stairway, which T intersections off very quickly.
Okay, and to the right, there's a dead end.
There's a dead end. It looks to you like there was construction that was being made in that area, but it stopped.
Check for secret passages.
Okay. Brother Karak begins to look for secret passages.
And Brother Rainmar does too.
Yes, at this point I was going to say Brother Rainmar has mentioned by this time to Karak many things about his aspirations to become a bard. Brother Karak has kind of been teaching you a couple things here and there, knowing that what you're going to have to do in the future. So he's saying, this is how you approach, looking for the secret door here. This is where I would look for a trap, things like that.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing that you see there.
Really? That's unexpected. Okay, we'll go to the left.
Okay. So your group begins to go to the left. And once again, you find yourself at a T intersection.
Well, of course we do.
And it stops again. And again, it looks like there was a construction that was meant to be made there at one point in time, but it stopped. T intersection again. You check for secret doors. You check for traps again, and there's nothing there.
All right, we'll hang to the right.
Continuing to hang to the right. When you hang to the right, you find yourself an alcove. Standing in the alcove is a large slab. Sorry, I didn't center the map. There's a large slab of stone there. Above it, like behind it, there's a statue there. It is a man, kind of a thin, tall man, and he's wearing a helmet that has wings on it. Laying on the slab is a person, a flesh and blood person. They look like they're asleep. They're laying there. They've got robes on. Across their chest, folded over, they're holding a rod of some kind. And around the rod, a snake has curled up. The snake is also flesh and blood.
How does Monty react?
Monty just kind of looks at it. He's sniffing the foot of it. He's got a sandaled foot. Doesn't really... Just kind of trying to figure out what it is. Karak kind of looks at you. Norik, should I kill it?
Well, no. Why does everything go to violence?
He looks at you like...
Because it's first edition.
What do you want me to do here?
Is there any markings that identify... What does the helmet feel about this situation?
The helmet gives you this feeling like traitor.
That the helmet is a traitor, or that the statue is?
That what it senses here, and it's unclear whether it's the statue it's reacting to or the person. Traitor is the feeling you get.
Okay. And the person that's lying there is not Brother Jonas.
It is not Brother Jonas.
What in the mother of...
That kind of curly black hair. It looks kind of like a little bit like a non-muscled version of Asperian. It's definitely a member of his race.
I suggest that we wake him up.
Okay. You wake him up. Who's going to do the waking?
Oh, Rainmar will do the heavy lifting himself.
Okay, you begin to do that. Eric's. As you wake up, you see all around you. You smell the temple. The air is about as you remember it being. It's kind of cold in here. It's not lit at all. That's unusual. Or excuse me, it is lit. I take that back. It is lit. I forgot about the right. The temple is lit. The man that is standing above you is not of your race. He's human, and he's got kind of brownish, kind of wild hair, and there's something. He's handsome, but he has this feral look to him. Something about him that is not. It's a little bit wild, perhaps. He's staring down at you, and there's other figures kind of in the shadow. There's a dog that is sniffing at your foot. The snake, all of a sudden, Rainmar, comes to... It seems to wake up at the same time this figure opens its eyes. Eric's, what would you like to do?
I'll just kind of stir and turn around and look and say, well, you're not what I was expecting. Did you bring breakfast?
Brother Karak looks at you like, that isn't what I was expecting either. Norik's got his hand on his sword. He's ready.
I give Norik a little wave, like, dude, settle down, okay?
Hey, David Leonard, it's great to see you out there. Thanks for tuning in.
I introduce myself as Rainmar the Wild Light. This is Brother Karak from the Temple of...
A hooded monk kind of just nods in your direction.
And this is Norik of the Wild Light. And the little
nice
savage...
To meet you. His hand's still on his sword.
The little savage puppy. We did bring breakfast, actually, and I present him with a little bit of meat, maybe meat that I had, or some iron rations.
Will it be the firewolf meat, or will it be normal meat? Like goat meat?
Let's go with goat meat. I don't want to, I don't know what that fire stuff will do to him, and I'm not that worried about Norik. You know
okay, Eric's, what you notice is that the creature that he introduced as Norik is one of the creatures that actually forced your people away from the shore when you guys established tried to establish a habitation there. They were these wild tribesmen that were there. They're kind of feral. They had like pig snouts. They were very violent, and they chased you away from the shore up into the heights of the mountains. But he doesn't seem to be, aside of the fact he seems to be mistrusting you by holding his sword, he isn't moving really at all.
How far away is he?
Probably about 10 feet.
Okay.
By the way, as you're opening your eyes, Eric's, you're realizing the man that is speaking to you, this Wildlight, is wearing the helm of Apollo.
What?
Yeah, it just kind of all settles in on you at once. He's looking at you right through the front of it. He's actually holding, it looks like the shield he is holding belonged to Asperian, your head guard, and so does the spear that he's holding.
I'll slowly and a little bit more warily sort of sit up on the slab.
The snake kind of curls around her rod and tests the air with her tongue.
Mm-hmm. I'll just kind of rest that against my shoulder, and then I'll kind of warily be watching the big one, the big pig-nosed one. Mm-hmm. Is that a gnoll?
No, it's an orc.
Okay.
As you look a little closer through the hood of the monk, that is a gnoll.
Okay, gotcha. So the orc specifically, right? Because they chased us off when we landed. So I'll be kind of looking at him, and I'm kind of putting this together. They seem to be friendly so far, but they're obviously looters.
Yeah, obviously.
So...
Although, I need you to roll me a 20, Magnus, please.
Okay. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
A 5.
Magnus, there is something interesting about him. Being that you're the priest of the god that you happen to worship, you're very generally insightful kind of a dude, and you notice the way that he holds the spear is appropriate.
I can tell the style.
He doesn't hold it like a barbarian would. He holds it like a proper warrior would.
That's part of my confusion, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take what's offered. Do you have a brie or gouda?
The meat's fine. It's not spoiled.
Not that I know of.
He said gouda, not good.
Oh yeah. Is he speaking common or is he speaking Greek?
He's speaking Greek that you understand.
Okay, so Brother Karak and Norik can't understand him.
Not a word.
I'm speaking back to him in ancient Greek, and I say, do I notice that he looks a little bit Myrmidonian?
Yes.
I tell him that we should probably go speak with Asperian.
You see Eric's perk up. We most certainly should. You are friends with Asperian?
He is my teacher.
Excellent. He was my compatriot.
What in the hell are
Before I fell asleep last night.
I don't know.
Well, that makes us practically related.
The thing that is sniffing at your foot, by the way, Eric's, is a wolf. It is not one of the hellhounds from the first level that you know of. Because it's not incandescent, it's not ablaze right now. However, it is not a normal wolf. This is the kind of wolf that the orcs used to command as shock troops, you remember.
But
they usually grow about the size of a horse.
It's not on fire, right?
No, it is not on fire, but it must only be a puppy because it's about the size of it comes up to about waist high.
Okay. Yeah, the foot tickling was a little weird.
Yeah, she does that. She makes a good pillow, though.
So your group begins to go upstairs together. Eric's, how are you going to? Are you going to go side by side with them, in their midst, behind them, in front of them? How do you want to walk with this?
I certainly don't want the orc behind me. Right. So I am going to stand shoulder to shoulder with Rainmar, yeah.
Okay.
So do I notice that he's uncomfortable with Norik?
You do, and as you notice it too, you notice his snake refuses to keep her eye off of Norik.
In that case, I send Norik up ahead 15, 20 feet, and just
tell him, hey, let Asperian know if you get there before, you're going to get there before we do. Let him know we're coming.
He says, okay. He doesn't seem to notice the discomfort that Eric's has with the orc.
As a show of trust, I will walk ahead of Eric's. I'll give him my back as a show of trust, and I just assume that Monty is behind the whole group, ready to tear someone.
I don't let him. I want to get on his shield side and walk shoulder to shoulder with him.
Mm-hmm. So you notice that you guys begin to walk back up through the entirety of the lesser temple here, up the stairs, back up into the first floor. There's a whole kind of vibe of discovery and strangeness here between the whole bunch of you, a little bit of mistrust, but nobody seems to be outwardly violent.
I apologize. I was rather mixed up when I did wake up. I should introduce myself. I am Eric's the Chaos. I am a priest of the god Hermes.
He looks over at Karak. Looks over at you. He starts to open up his canteen. He hands the canteen over to you, Jeremy. He says, "Listen to our friend's voice." He says, "Probably hasn't drunk anything in some time."
Yeah, okay, I'll pass the water on to him, but Hermes is one of the gods that I have not yet heard of. It wasn't covered in, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to jot that down as we walk.
You notice that he's taking notes, Eric, as you're walking down, talking to him. He seems like he's very...
in Greek?
Yeah, he's writing in Greek.
Okay.
And you see lines in other languages written in there. The guy is obviously a polyglot. Some of them look like very refined, beautiful script, and some of them look very ham-fisted and angry. It's hard to really figure out what languages they are. But you're walking, all of you, together. As the water gets passed over to you, Eric, you see that the gnoll just kind of nods in your direction.
I'll slowly raise it to my lips and smile and nod and thanks. Can I take a quick sniff of it before I put it to my lips?
Yeah, you do. It smells fresh. And Lyris, you get the impression from her that it is fresh. You also get the impression from her that the orc is at least 40 feet ahead of you.
Oh, okay.
She can smell him in the air.
I'll take a sip of the water, just wash it around in my mouth and hand it back.
Okay, you do that.
With a thanks.
Your group is beginning to head towards Asperians. Now we're going to cut over to the other group, Arion, Agrias, and Brixton. You guys are in the ship, and you're heading to the north with Melina. None of you are particularly seasick. Brixton, it's probably about 45 minutes into the journey, and all of a sudden you feel that sense of power starting to flood through your veins again. Anyone who's paying attention to him notices the quality of his eyes become a little bit more blue. He gets a little bit more color to his flesh. Looking out at the horizon, he just seems like he's more robust all the way around. The rest of you are... do any of you have any plans while you're on the boat going northward?
I wanted to speak with Melina.
Yeah, Melina's over there. She's standing next to Kalaya. Kalaya and her have a very weird relationship, Arion, you notice. They really don't speak very often.
Right. I wanted to take her aside, and I want to get any kind of input from her on Agrias, that Chanu and all that stuff.
Well, this is what I know. She says, when Agrias fell into shadow, I felt a disturbance in the shade. It was like a great water spout suddenly in the middle of the ocean, and I felt him tumble down into it, and then he was gone. And then the water spout sealed itself over, and the waves became placid again.
Okay, what I'm getting at is more her history with him, or from way back before.
Well, I didn't know him personally very well. When we were at the garden together studying, he was like my sister. She nods over at Kalaya. He was a very martial individual. He's very skilled swordsman, skilled in magic as well. I was not, she says, shaking her head. So while they were studying, it fell to me to tend to the library. The gardener gave me the responsibility of tending to the library. But because I was in the library, I had great access to the documents of the monastery. What I found was very disturbing within it. I found that they'd sent that Agrias suddenly left. I don't know why. No one ever really explained it. He just disappeared. But then within the documents of the library, I found that he was sent away purposely. The gardener had sent him away for some reason only he could possibly know. Then we were all assembled, all of the students within the garden, and we were told that Agrias was a traitor. We were told he was a heretic, and we were told that he had his studies into the nature of shadow were an abomination. They were blasphemous. Then, between the two stories, I knew that they couldn't be reconciled. Someone had to be lying. It was clear to me who it was. It was clear to me that I could no longer trust the gardener. So I left too, and I knew that Agrias would need me. So I set about trying to find him.
Okay. Well, I'm just, and that's sparking what she had told me before too, just reiterating everything. So unless I need to make a roll or whatever, it seems like that's consistent from what she said before.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm also trying to get more, and sort of like picking around the edges, trying to figure out what actually attracted her to just, Agrias. Was it a personal thing, type of, was she enamored with him in a sense, just from, or is just just a professional thing? But why just pick him out?
She looks over at you for a second, and she pauses, and she says, Ariana, as the worshipper of Alona, you realize that there are things that should be and things that should not be.
Right.
There is justice, and then there is injustice. I did not even truly know what Agrias looked like more than anything else, but I knew that what had happened was unjust.
Okay. And I explained to her, I tell her, it's like that the only reason I'm not trying to be, pry. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a mindset on him from what I know. I want to get a mindset from other people who may have known him. So when I do whatever this, my, this ceremony that I've spoken to you about, I want to be able to get it fairly concise and focused.
You may wish to speak to Kalaya about it. She knew him better than I.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they studied together under the Black Orchid.
Okay. Kalaya, that doesn't make sense. Because wasn't he? Oh, the Black Orchid. Never mind. I'm thinking of the Christians.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's okay. At this point, you guys. Brixton
then I would like to do that eventually.
Okay. Brixton and Kalaya, you're at the other side of the boat. Kalaya, you're starting to notice that there's something in the water that is kind of pacing the boat. It's kind of breaching the water every once in a while. At first, you think it's a dolphin. We had a second special guest star there, I know. It was breaching the water. At first, you thought it was a dolphin. Brixton kind of has his eye on it very carefully, and then you realize it is what he described. When he said a seahorse, you realize it's actually a horse that looks like it's made completely out of water that breaches every once in a while as it paces the boat.
Is it keeping pace with the boat?
Absolutely. It looks like it's not even trying. It's faster than the boat.
Yeah. Is the captain around?
Yeah, she's sitting there. She's watching it from the back, from the wheel. In the distance, Kalaya, you can also see a city that is on the horizon.
Okay.
She looks over at the two of you. She goes, "Do you see that?" She goes, "That's Marner." She goes, "But we're actually going to be stopping a little bit short of Marner here." She goes, "We're almost there." I see your friends here, Brixton.
She is. Thanks for the hat, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. She says, "I thought it would suit you."
Is there anything I should know about it?
She shrugs. She goes, "I got it for a great price."
I imagine. And then with that, I'm just going to fall off the side of the boat.
Okay. Kalaya, you watch him jump off the side of the boat. He looks like he goes down, down, down. For a moment, it's like, what a fool, he's dead. And then he explodes up out of the water on the back of the horse. Water, hair all slicked back. He's got his hat in his hand. The horse just kind of seems to jump and play with him on its back as they course the side of the boat.
Okay, I just sit there unfazed.
Right.
Am I anywhere close to?
Yeah, you can see the whole thing. You see the whole thing.
I tap her on the back. It says he does that all the time. Don't worry about it.
He's the entertainment of the group.
Oh, you have no idea.
Soon enough, the boat begins to moor over at a small village. The village, you notice, is built around a central edifice. A gigantic circle of stone, probably about 50 feet tall, that is, it looks like maybe it's a quarter mile wide. And it's a village is built around it. She goes, "Here we are."
Do I recognize the port?
Yeah, you recognize the port. This is Xenothon, actually, is the name of the city. Xenothon is it actually used to be a wizard's tower that used to be here. It really wasn't a port. It was just a wizard's tower that was here at one point. It looks like it's really developed over the last few years. You haven't been here in some time.
Well, whereabouts between Caverick's Cove and Marner? Where would that be about?
About halfway between the two of them.
Okay.
By the way, I don't use all the Living Greyhawk cities.
I know, but since I got the map on,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you guys are beginning to. Charissa her men put out the gangplank to get you onto shore, and you begin leaving the boat there. And
I'm not going to mark up Darlene's map.
I wouldn't either. So you guys walk off the boat, and Charissa says, "We have some business we have to attend to, and then we'll get our information that we need." Meanwhile, back at the temple, Rainmar, you and Eric's and your group begin the passage upstairs. You are there upstairs, and I have it on the map for when you guys end up going. When you decide that it actually wants to catch up, and you said you want to speak to Asperian, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move the map over to where Asperian is.
Well, it just makes sense to take him.
Yeah.
To Asperian.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you get to Asperian. Eric's, as you begin to walk through the temple, you notice how much has changed since you slept. For example, it smells. It looks like it's been recently cleaned, but it smells of dust. You walk past Demetrius's room, the high priest of Hades and Persephone. No one is in there. His books seem to be gone. You walk past the Medusa's chambers. The door there is likewise open. You walk past the Chimera's chambers. That door is still closed. But as you begin to walk towards where the Minotaur's labyrinth was, and this top floor, it's clear to you that much time has passed since you were last awake. Finally, you get to Asperian's chamber, the head guard. And as you walk into the room, Asperian stands there, slightly translucent, kind of devoid of color. It's clear to you right away that he's a spirit. And he looks at you, and in Greek, he looks at you and smiles and says, puts out his hand and says, "Hail, Erix. It's good to see you once more." The snake, Lyra, just kind of sits there, doesn't even move.
You're muted.
Magnus, you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
It is good to see you as well, my old friend, though it appears as if you've lost weight.
I have lost much, as have all of us. He looks over at you, Rainmar, and he says, "So you have found the sleeper, and the sleeper is woken."
So it would seem.
He nods.
How long did I sleep?
By my reckoning, 4,000 seasons.
That's a long time.
He chuckles a bit. It is indeed. He says, "Most Holy One." He nods. He says, "The gods have quit this place. They have forgotten us. Now all we have here," he looks over towards Rainmar. He says, "Now all we have here are we have new friends and memories."
Friends?
Indeed.
Good.
He nods over at Rainmar. He says, "I've taken this one under my tutelage. He is now my student in the way of the spear and the shield."
A new champion.
At the request of Demetrios.
He nods. Demetrios sent him with the highest of recommendation. He said his destiny was among us. He nods over towards where the Minotaur was. He says, "The other day he slew the Horned One in single combat. I believe him to be worthy."
And so you shall sleep?
Not yet. He looks around and says, "Not until we are completely safe." He looks around the kind of vaguely around his surroundings.
I see. What have I missed? Old friend.
He says, "What haven't you missed?" He laughs. He says, "We all died one by one. Some of us of disease, some of us of hunger, some of us of old age. I was meant to protect all of you and I failed. For that you have I beg your forgiveness."
But of course.
He says.
We are but the playthings of the gods.
He nods. "Yes," he says, "but you could tell me more than I could tell you, I think." He says, "And has your God forgotten you as well?"
I haven't put that to the test yet. But if he has forgotten me, then I shall have to remind him.
Your God flies on swift wings. I have no doubt that
To and fro.
he could come to this place quite simply if he wished it. We just need to attract his attention somehow, although I believe," he looks over at Rainmar, "that the eyes of those above on Olympus have fallen upon us once more. Perhaps not all is lost after all."
Then these are dangerous times.
Yes, he looks up at Raymar's helmet. He says, "Very dangerous. And so you have woken, I am sure. It is no coincidence."
I see. That is definitely my God awakened to me then.
He says, "It is no coincidence."
No.
He looks over at Rainmar, looks back over at Eric's. He says, "Let us be plain for a moment. I believe, Eric's Brixton. I believe that Hermes, Eric's God, has woken him again to help you protect the helm, to hide it from the eyes of Paula."
And how would he do this?
Only the gods would know.
How fast can you run, champion?
Well, I'm pretty ripped right now, so I can run pretty fast. You know? Asperion's had me on this routine. It's damn near Spartan, you know?
Oh!
I mean, the gods don't want to step in here, I'll tell you that right now.
Asperion, you have picked well. He carries more humor than you and your entire troop for 1,000 years.
You should see what training with him is like. He says it's like training with an entire clergy of Dionysus. He smiles.
I imagine.
I'm going to take that as a sincere compliment. My question for Eric's now is there a place in the temple which you call home?
You see Asperian take his helmet off. He puts it down. He kind of sits over there listening to you speak. He looks over at Eric's.
Did I have a home?
Your home. You had a shrine on the lower temple that
Right.
The temple allowed you to build a shrine, and that is on the lower level. However, there is an upper level here and a level below you, where you were meant to be. The upper level is the main temple. It's the main temple to Hades and Persephone. The lower temple below that, you've never been there. They were just starting to work on it.
Were there living quarters along with that shrine, though?
What's that?
Were there living quarters along with the
Yes,
shrine?
there were.
Okay, all right.
So that's where I found him.
Yep. But that's not exactly... That wasn't his living quarters, per se. They laid him out there beneath his god so his god could watch over him while he slept.
Okay, so... Yeah, that's kind of what I'm guessing at. Okay, so he was sleeping in the same area where his housing would...
Right.
Okay.
Nearby, yeah.
Yeah, nearby.
Okay.
They couldn't move the statue, so they moved him.
Got it.
I did many cycles ago. I'm sure it has collected dust.
I might suggest that you make yourself at home once more. It seems you'll be here in flesh and blood for a while.
So you intend to stay?
I do, until my job is done.
As Demetrius said, he is worthy. Hesperian nods.
So are you to fortify this place as a fortress?
As a place of study, as a place of training, and to honor the gods.
He smirks. He smirks, Eric's. He says, Athenian, not Spartan.
Either way, look at this. I mean, this is crazy.
Perhaps you are the road between them.
Very well. I shall clean out my place then.
Okay. Rainmar, is there any other business that you have with the Hesperian?
No, but because things are a little hairy here right now, I'm just gonna take my whole crew as kind of guardians to Eric's as he gets kind of his bearings in the new world and sets up his...
Okay, are you going to send Norik with him or not?
Yeah, I think we all should be present. Whether he likes Norik or not, Norik is a body between him and danger. Okay. So, yeah.
You begin to go back towards where you were on the bottom floor then. And as you go back to where you were on the bottom floor, you notice... I'm going to zoom in on the hallway that you found yourself in. This is the hallway that leads southwards towards the stairway. There are footprints, kind of like a charcoal-y footprints on the ground. It's clear to you that the hellhounds have decided to start walking around this place. They've somehow gotten out, but it does not look like they've gone very far, and maybe they've actually gone back. They're just probably trying to explore their surroundings at this point.
That was not our agreement. I was going to let them out one at a time. That was not the arrangement.
No, it was not the arrangement. Are you going to go see them?
Nope.
Do I notice those as well?
Yes, you do notice those as well.
I kind of point at them and I say, beware the flaming hounds. They owe no allegiance to any god or any person.
We'll see about that.
They are pure forces of demonic chaos.
Karak looks over at you, Rainmar, in comment and says, I don't know what he said, but it sounded very ominous.
He said that the flame wolves are not to be trusted because they owe no allegiance to any god or man.
He shakes his head. And your belief?
I'm a gray elf.
Shrugs his shoulders. And I am a gnoll. I suppose we should go downstairs then?
We're going to follow Eric's to make sure he's comfortable and safe as he gets a grip on this new world.
Oh, yeah, I didn't exactly understand it either, but I can tell that this guy, every time I'm around, he seems like he stiffens up a little bit, so I'm going to give him a little bit of room, all right?
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. Keep an eye on our rear, anything coming up behind us.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm just, I gotta be honest with you, I'm a little bit, Yeah, I just this whole thing's got me a little nervy. That's all. He doesn't seem like he. I don't know what to say. He doesn't seem like he's. I don't know what to make of this guy yet.
Well, he doesn't know what to make of you either. Let's just be patient.
Right. Okay. So you guys go downstairs, and you're going to go back to your lodgings. Meanwhile, the other
Carlos, can I be paying attention to the other languages they're speaking?
Yes, you
so
may.
that I can at least differentiate them and maybe try to learn them eventually.
Yeah, make me a 20-sider, please.
4.
Hermes was also a god of messengers and communication. So you're going to get a little bit of a bonus on that. Certain vocabulary is beginning to stand out to you.
Great.
Like, for example, every time you notice that Karak says the word Zanye a lot. You notice that Norik says the word orc a lot. So you're starting to be able to put certain words to.
Okay, good.
Is it possible that I would notice him struggling with?
It is. You do notice that.
I'm going to go ahead and as you break away to the other players, we'll just off camera. I'll share with him some of my work in my notebooks and try to get him acclimated to the languages.
Okay, you start to do that. Meanwhile, the group that is on the north shore of Radek, you walk out there off the boat, and
before we do that, I want to hand Brixton a handful of miscellaneous hand crossbow bolts.
Okay.
Of the just a couple of different designs I've been playing around with. Some that have obsidian head on it, and just some miscellaneous things like that. And I also hand him a brooch.
Kalaya, you notice as he hands him the ones with the obsidian heads on them. Obviously, in your order, obsidian has a particular kind of a sub meaning to it because of shadow. So it's kind of amusing watching him hold the obsidian weapons more than anything. But yeah, Brixton, you have them. They seem like they're very well made. They're obviously handmade over quite a series of a piece of time, and using good materials.
How many?
Probably about 6 of them. So they're experimental. If I find more, or if they seem to work out, I'm guessing that I'm speculating that the obsidian might help punch through our wonderful fire boy a little bit more than what a normal arrow might. So I'm just playing around. And I also explained to him that this brooch that I gave him is something I was working on to essentially thank him for, not really thank him, but just as a group, I also gave one to Rainmar, and saying that and if the others can hear this too, I'm just low tone it. But since we got together and originally erratic in our original caravan, the group has been about the only people that have really accepted me who I am a little bit as being different, and been really good friends. So it's been a cohesive group. So it's basically saying thanks, and yeah, it's like almost like a little group badge.
Kalaya, you're noticing the way that these guys have kind of formed a little bit of a brotherhood. It is something definitely that piques your interest. That they seem to be starting to become kind of tight knit.
I sent Matthew. I sent it to your messenger.
Oh, sweet! Thank you.
Okay, so group, you guys are starting to walk through the city, or I should say this village. The village is probably no bigger than Caverick's Cove, so it's very strange the way in which it is. It's got this massive edifice in the middle of it. It just seems like it's very out of place. It seems like to you that Sharissa is leading you towards it as you go closer and closer to it. Sharissa starts to lead you all the way up to it. And she stares at the edifice when she finally gets you to the foot of it. And she says, "Do you see that?"
What is the purpose of?
She goes, "This is Xanathar's pit," she says, looking at it, and smiles a little bit. She looks at you. She goes, "This is why we're here."
Do I know what she's referring to?
Yeah, she says, "You can't really tell. No, don't know much about it." She goes, "No, neither of you do." She sees the lack of recognition on your face, and she says, "Let me explain. Xanathar," she says, "is a very powerful mage." And she looks over at Brixton. She says, "Specializing in the schools of divination and illusion." She nods in your direction. Xanathar created a arena here some time ago for the amusement of his troops. It became very, very popular in the region. Now it's this. She looks over at it. She looks over and she points over at a poster on the wall that's stuck to it. And it mentions, it says, come see the defending champion Chimera Covenant live tomorrow. Looks like it's handwritten. She says, "Xanathar is a very difficult man to reach." She looks at the bunch of you. "I found that out when I tried to get an audience with him the other day. But he always comes to see the matches." She looks at the bunch of you. "You'll be joining one of the matches tomorrow against the Chimera Covenant." She looks at you, looks at you. She says, "You'll fight them, we'll all get rich, and while he's here, I'll have a chance to speak to Xanathar and get an audience with him. Because there's no other way that I can get to this man."
Okay, I sort of see where you're going on now.
She looks over at you. There's a dude, by the way, that's standing, kind of looks like a homeless dude to you. Except for the fact he's probably about 7'2" and about 350 pounds of pure muscle. Standing there looking at one of the posters. And she says, "Just a moment, if you don't mind." She kind of pauses and walks over. "Follow me." She walks over to the man. She says, "Excuse me, sir." And this is a woman, probably about 5'2". She's got kind of darker skin, swarthy skin, black hair. She's wearing a jaunty hat. She looks kind of like a noble. Walks over to you. She says, "May I have your name, sir?" "Sir? Excuse me. May I have your name?"
Are you talking to me?
"Yes, I am."
Sorry, I didn't have the headphones on when you said the last thing.
It's all right. It's okay.
I was grabbing my.
You did that wrong. You're supposed to do the Robert De Niro thing.
I was grabbing my shawl.
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
She looks over at you.
You must be talking to me. Ain't nobody else here. Even a cat left.
Yep. Hey, one of our viewers right over here is Greyhawk Mike Bridges, who's watching tonight. Thanks, Mike, for tuning in. And yes, that's our special guest star today, Magnus Miller Wilson, who you've played with before through the Marquesa modules. So anyway, excuse me, sir, she says, have you ever seen these Chimera Covenant fight before? All of you see this look come over his face when she says that.
Yes. They're shit.
Perfect, she says. Then they shouldn't be any problem for you to defeat. She looks over at the rest of you. Could you tell me anything about them? It might be worth some gold.
How much gold we talking?
She pulls out a small purse of change. Hands it over to you. She says, you can count it. It's all in Retikian currency.
They suck shit. They're terrible fighters.
She looks over at you. And over at Grias, or Kalaya and Brixton.
They cheat to win!
Actually, she almost jumped out of her skin when she says, and you say that.
They cheat.
Magnus, I would follow you into any dungeon, bro.
Well, that's good to know. How do they cheat exactly? She looks over at the rest of you. I hope you're paying attention.
I'm paying attention, but not like, and I'm also keeping an eye on her surroundings as well.
Yeah.
I think they put bad juju on their weapons for the stabbing. They talk to people. They say, "Hello, I have some money. I give it to you if you fuck up the fight." Very bad. All these things. Many things.
So they're paying
John
referees.
Paul needs a drink.
They're paying referees. They're poisoning weapons. This sounds just like the kind of group that you guys would be just great against. Listen,
you don't cheat?
No, why would we? She looks at the rest of us. These four behind me.
Then we are friends.
By the way, where's Tobias?
Tobias is right. Is you're kind of holding him over there, and he looks at you. Tobias looks up at you and goes, "Oh, this one's a good one. I got a good feeling about this one. He smells like blood."
I eat blood for breakfast.
Oh yeah, he's holding a Wolverine in his hands. You can't really understand what he says, but he's holding it. The Wolverine looks up and, "Oh, I like this guy. He's a good one. I got a good feeling about this one, boss."
What is the character's name here?
He may not even be stupid like you.
Probably, I don't know. Probably.
Well,
what is Magnus's character's name?
He looks over at you. Sharissa looks over at you. She goes, "What's your name, sir?"
John Paul.
John Paul.
Well,
John Paul. That's John Paul. As you say,
some call me ass kicker.
I address him and says,
"It's because I kick asses."
I think you found an animal brother in my compatriot here, and points down at my Wolverine next to me.
John Paul, as you're talking, you can see behind these guys in the background, one of the members of the Chimera Covenant is actually walking in the street. It is their cleric that they have. She's a priestess of some skull god. She's walking down the main avenue, and one of your old accomplices is standing next to her. He's dead, and she's got her hand. He's got all these bags in his hand. You can see his skin kind of decaying.
Are you talking to me, or is it talking?
No, I'm talking to John Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see her behind you. She looks at you. She just kind of waves at you and smiles and keeps walking.
That was my friend.
Sharissa looks over her shoulder at them. She animated your friend as a zombie?
Rest, and she parades him down the street where she knows my box is in the alley.
You're sleeping in a box?
She does this every day.
Hello, John Paul. It's good to see you again.
And it hurts me on the inside.
She kind of walks up and she says, "I see you've made some new friends." She looks over at your group.
Yes, and they do not cheat.
Then I suppose they won't win either. See you, new friends. Taps the zombie on the head. The zombie follows her. What are you gonna do?
What? No. His friend is a zombie?
Yeah, she's animated him as a zombie and using him as a porter.
I turn.
Huh?
I'll try to turn.
Okay, go ahead. Try to turn. Make me a 20-sided.
13.
Magnus, this is what you see. The elf who has this wooden mask on his face pulls out this unicorn silver holy symbol and holds it in the air. It seems to glint in the noontime sky for a second. And it's almost like the cleric can feel it. You see almost like her hair stands up in the back of her head. She turns around, and your friend crumbles into bone right there on the ground. All the bags fall on the ground. Her face just goes beet red, and she looks at you. Go ahead, Brixton.
I look at her and say, now you can carry your own shit.
Brixton, what are you going to do?
Can I try to slight one of the bags?
Make me a percentage die.
34.
You kind of, everybody kind of sees Brixton kind of moving around the periphery. You can't get a bag, but you get a small box that kind of tumbled out of there.
Cool.
Snag it. She looks at you. She grabs up her bags, and she looks over at John Paul. She goes, I hope your friends take you into the arena. She says, I have plenty more things to buy. She turns around and walks away, holding all of her bags, kind of struggling with them as she walks away.
We are coming for you.
And I'll be here. Bring your friends. I'll bring mine. She walks away.
Your friends will crumble to dust.
Oh, you mean like yours did, right?
New friend here.
She kind of laughs, walks away. Hey, Jean-Paul, she says, I heard it's going to rain tonight. She goes, you might want to put a top on your box tonight.
Well, your butt is turned flat.
That doesn't even make any sense. Walks away.
Get a push-up panty.
She walks away with her stuff.
I hear women hate when you talk about them being old and things. Worst cut down I could think of.
Oh, that was a good one, Charissa says. The female. I'll leave you to it, Charissa says. To your
How you make him crumble to dust, friend?
Melina, come with me. She takes Melina with her. So now it's Arion, Kalaya, Brixton, and John Paul in the middle of the street.
Before he turned, I turned to John Paul, put my hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And says, I hope your friend makes it to where, was it a she or he? She.
It was a he.
A he. He should make it to his resting place now.
You guys are all standing there, and walking up towards you now are two gentlemen. John Paul, one of them you recognize as the master of ceremonies at the arena. He looks at you. He goes, "Excuse me, everyone. So, I couldn't help but notice what happened here in the street. Sounds like we've got a real grudge match setting up. Can I expect you tomorrow at the arena?"
The grudgiest of grudgy.
Right. Says, going to need everyone here to sign some paperwork to get into the arena. Going to need you to sign these waivers. I'm going to need you to fill out these where we can send your belongings if you die. And get you the rules. And everyone, you can show up at sunrise tomorrow and we can settle this.
If you can read, make sure words do not say cheat. New friends.
He looks at you, he goes, that's good advice.
Best advice.
So he starts to hand you guys pieces of paper. They seem like they're in order. All they basically are their ways of the arena of absolving themselves of guilt. Should Radix military come here and see that they're running a gladiatorial matches, that you guys did this of your own accord. It wants to know where you're going to send your belongings if you die. And the rules basically are, there are three kinds of matches. The matches one's just called a struggle match. The struggle matches are determined by who comes out victorious over the other ones in terms of it's be knocked unconscious and you're out of the game. Then there's a death match. The death match is worth 3 times the amount of gold as the normal match. But anything goes. As far as the rules here, the only rules that you cannot do here are you cannot attack patrons. If you attack any patrons in the crowd, you're out, and you can't fly out or you can't leave the bounds of the arena. If you leave the bounds of the arena, which means going into the crowd too, that's the bounds of the arena, you're out. If you kill anybody that's a patron, you're out. So
otherwise, it's a free for all. So
it is a total free for all. Otherwise,
okay.
How close is this to the water?
probably about 300 yards. You figure. You feel stronger, but not all the way.
Okay.
You're close enough that you're getting something, though.
Something, but if there's all right. I have an idea, but I don't know if it's going to work.
Okay.
I have another question.
Sure.
It's just for us human, demi-human, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I pretty much tell Tobias, watch what P's and Q's you actually have.
Wait a moment. Hold on for a second.
You apparently he's not able to fight, correct?
Mr. Arion, you wish your friend to fight?
No, I don't wish to him, but
because if you do, I believe that the Covenant has their magic user. I believe he has a familiar, and the two of you could, if you both agree to use your familiars, then it would be fair.
Well, he's not my familiar, and I don't control him. Or anything,
well, then perhaps it's best that doesn't.
I just did not want him to. If something happened to me, I didn't want him to, go after somebody out in the crowd type.
Well, we have cages and things like that. You can put your animals.
Don't put him in a cage.
What's this about cages? Hold on. Who's talking about?
How much gold is it worth?
What?
How much gold is it to have familiars fight one another?
Oh, it's free if you wish that. All that you have to do is sign this sub waiver, and then the Covenant will bring their familiar in too.
I look over at Arion and just say, "Might be worth some gold if we get the right people to bet."
I also whispered to was it Melina or Kalea that?
I think it was Kalea that said that.
I sort of say, well, it's all up to Tobias whether he wants to or not. I'll let him do what he wants.
Are you kidding me? I am so in on this.
Hey, Carlos.
Yeah.
How do I sign a waiver for him unless he wants to put a Cochrane?
Do I know what kind of familiar? Did John Paul know what kind of familiar they would have been?
No, you do not,
Okay.
because your group did not have one.
Okay. Thanks.
Arion, you just have to sign it for him.
Okay. I'm leaving it up to him. I explained it to him.
Oh, I'm so in. Are you kidding me? Legalized mayhem? Oh, I am so in on this.
Just remember, if you use your special weapon, don't aim it at us.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. Of course. But
the mage and the familiar might.
Do you guys sign in on this? All three of you guys, and John Paul, I'm sure, is going to sign in. But
yeah. I asked, where do we put the address to send our winnings?
Oh, right here on this paper. Are you having them sent anywhere in specific?
I have a box if you want close access.
We'll just take it with us.
Okay. Is everyone signing? Kalaya, are you signing?
I have to sign this to participate?
Yes, just so that if the military comes, then we can tell them that you did this on your own accord. You weren't charmed or anything.
Yeah, I'll sign it.
Okay, Brixton, you in?
Okay.
Are you in, Brixton?
Yeah.
You're in. Are you in, Arion?
Yes, but before we go on, I want to ask, when that person went by or after I dusted her zombie, did I recognize the symbol?
Yes, you did recognize the symbol. Symbol is of Arithmal.
Of what?
Arithmal, god of slaughter. And
do I know the approximate alignment?
Yeah. Awful evil. Not lawful evil. Awful
I'm
evil.
I'm signing with a flourish.
Okay, you sign it with the flourish. Okay, everybody has signed.
Now, do I also know is that the general makeup of alignment of this area, or is it just
No. That's these guys come from a distant land, actually.
Okay.
So you guys are signing up, and Sharissa is coming back with Melina, and she's got this big grin on her face. She comes back. Everything's arranged. She says, I have us lodgings here for the bunch of you, and I even made sure that we had lodgings for our large friend. She looks over at you, John Paul. She goes, no more box for you, my friend. And she looks at the rest of you, and she says, I suggest that we all get a good night's sleep before tomorrow morning.
I turned to him and said, what is this box that you always speak of here?
Looks over at John Paul.
With my home. I travel very light.
You live in a box.
Times have been hard.
Maybe you should start cheating.
Let's all go back to the hotel, she said. You hear Sharissa say.
Can I head back to the waterfront?
Yeah, you head back to the waterfront. What are you going to handle when you're there?
I want to see.
You feel very, very reinforced now. You're at the waterfront.
Yeah, since Aurora is now just water, can I put her in my bag of holding?
You can try.
I want to see if that's okay with her, because I'd rather have her with me.
You get the feeling that Aurora will go anywhere you want her to. She says she trusts you. You wouldn't let anything bad happen to me, would you?
No.
No. Well, then, of course, I trust you. I'll go wherever you want me to.
Okay, I'm gonna get her kind of just before sunrise so that she can enjoy the ocean.
Okay. So you go ahead, and you're going to. In the meantime, you're going to go over to the hotel with these guys.
Do we know? Can I find out more information about these guys?
Yeah, you're going to go ahead and you're going to try and gather some information about them.
Yeah.
Kalaya, do you have any business before you go to bed for the evening?
Yeah, I'm going to go sit with my sister.
Okay. Yeah, Melina, at the middle of the night, she looks at you and she says, listen. She said, you guys are at the tavern part of the lodgings, which is actually a very nice inn. They have a bard there and everything, and the bard is playing songs of the Chimera Covenant's greatness and power. She says, "Listen, I want you to know something about what happened while you were talking to our new friend. The captain, when she left, she went right to that building." She points out the window, and it's a Money Changers. She said she put down a very, very heavy wager on your group to win tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
And do you think that Brixton and Ariana are capable of winning?
I don't know. She says, I don't know what this Chimera Covenant is like. She says, but I do know this. The one that you brought, that you've just allied yourself with, he looks awfully strong.
I liked him too.
She nods. You would. She drinks a little bit of mead.
I just look at her and I say, you were always better at choosing good people to be surrounded by. I'm just better at killing.
I'm sure he likes you too, she says and drinks.
I hope he does.
And meanwhile, Agrias, or excuse me, I should say Arion, do you have any business you'd like to attend to before bed?
I would like to try to get a little bit of information, what I can, of what we're up against.
I need you and Brixton to roll me 20s, and while you're doing that, we're going to go back to the temple. Rainmar, you go to the temple with our boy, and I'm going to actually remove the fog of war from it so you can see the entirety of the map.
Like Clark Kent and Superman.
So, thank you, Mean Cab. We really appreciate you joining. This is the layout. As you could see, where my cursor is, I'm going to hold it there. I know that it needs to catch up for a second. All these alcoves here that are in there have slabs on them. It looks like they were meant for many different people to rest here, much like when you found Eric's. But his particular lodging, I will put her up on the board right now, is right here. At the very top of the screen, you can see. There we go. The very top of the screen, you can see the that kind of a circular area. That is where he is. The temple of Hermes in this area is nothing but an altar like the ones that you saw before. Okay. On there are grapes. There are black leaves that were put there that do not seem to wither. There is silver that is there in a small pan, and there is a scroll on top of it.
Is there a theme to the things that are put there as blessings?
Yeah, and Eric's will be able to tell you that they're all things that are very meaningful to his faith. For example, the scroll is because Hermes is a messenger god, and the money that is there is payment for his services. He also was a guide to the dead when after they died, that he brought them to their just place in the afterlife, to Hades' realm or to somewhere else. So that's what the black leaves are for. And yeah, it's all just different things that are sacred to his faith.
Is there based on when I'm looking at it, and I guess I can ask Eric's as well, mm-hmm. Is there an appropriate way to make a what's the word I'm looking for, to honor to make an offering? Is there a bowl or a
that's what the pan is for.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put a silver coin in there.
When you put the silver coin in there, right away that helmet, you get that sensation again, traitor. But it's almost like it's referring to you this time. And it is kind of angry, it feels like, the helm is. It's got this very bad feeling of betrayal. It does. But besides that, when you put it in there, Magnus, make me a percentage die, please.
Coming right up.
Promise.
73.
Within the pan, all of you are sitting there watching it. The pan, all of a sudden, alights inside of it into silver crackling flame. It starts to roll up and down. Magnus, as of tomorrow morning, I'll need you to tell me what spells you intend to memorize for the day.
Okay.
So, you guys all see that. Brother Karak is standing there, as is Norik, as is Fluffy, a.k.a. Monty. You've explored the entire area. I would imagine Eric's would have shown you around this whole second level. Eric's, that stairway that you see that leads away from at the bottom of the screen, yep. That was not there previously. That wall, the passageway just turned straight down. That wasn't there. That's new construction to you.
Gotcha. I'll let them know that.
Yeah. So, that is, Raymar, that's what you see in there. And by the way, Raymar, also in the temple that you see there that's relatively circular, there is the whole wall is this beautiful bas relief. And the relief pretty much consists of, it looks like it tells a story much like the other ones do. And what the story it tells is, you see kind of a sulking Hades, a sullen Hades at one part of it below. And at the top, you see, in the middle of it, you see what looks like, and you recognize it immediately, even if you haven't seen him before, it's Apollo. And he is in the middle of, looks like, attacking Persephone. And above everything, you see that figure that was in the statue with the lightning bolts that was referred to as Zeus before to you. Hermes is whispering into his ear, and they're looking down. Magnus, the whole of the truth is that it was Hermes, because he sees a lot of things as a messenger of the gods. He was privy to the fact to the rape of Persephone. He knew about it. He found out about it, and he even though Apollo threatened him, he told Zeus about it, and that is why Pallas Apollo was censured by the gods. And that's what started the whole why there is light and darkness, the clash between Apollo and Hades that followed.
Just as a point of interest, as Eric's is sort of showing me around, and I'm mapping this in my journal, in order to help Eric's kind of adapt to this new reality that 4,000 years is a long time to be slumbering. I go ahead and take some pages from my journal that show translations from ancient Greek to Elvish to Common. Okay, like a Rosetta Stone kind of cheat sheet.
Right. Magnus, Eric's is really, like I said, very good with languages.
Yep.
You would have problems like with tenses maybe and things like that, but you think you could pretty much put together some broken Common pretty well at this point in time.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when they speak in Common, you understand probably about 66% of it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm still going to use ancient Greek with Eric's, and I'll use Common with the other guys, kind of hoping that it will help Eric's get Common dialed. Yeah.
Yep. That'll help with
Eric, something that you and both Rainmar notice is when you're having these conversations and Nork chimes in with it, every once in a while he'll throw in Greek vocabulary. It's like he's kind of catching on to it too.
Great.
So he's speaking Common with the occasional Greek word.
Yes.
Like Spanglish.
Yeah, okay. It's weird because Eric's your thoughts about these monsters that chased you away from there, they were always barbaric and they were always stupid.
Yeah.
Now this one seems very, very much more advanced than the others. Lyra has taken quite a bit to Rainmar, actually. She thinks that she seems that to trust him. She seems to think you get the feeling of goodwill through the familiar link to you that maybe that he is as he says.
Well, so do I. I mean, I can't think of anything that could corrupted the spirit of my old friend and champion, Hesperion.
No,
right?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah,
he was beyond a man beyond reproach.
Oh yeah, so the fact that like he's saying that this guy is the champion, I'm pretty impressed by that.
Okay, so you find yourselves at this temple of Hermes. What will you do then?
Well, that's up to Magnus, I suppose, for his part. For my part, have I been able to map the whole downstairs now?
Yes, you've mapped the entire downstairs. As I mentioned, all those alcoves have slabs in them, and they look like they were places for people that they would be sleeping. Okay. That is why they were. When you looked at the ones before and you said, I want to check for secret doors, it's now clear to you that this place, in case they wanted to put more than just him aslumber, this is where they were meant to be. The place that you see at the top of the map, it looks sort of like a T, a little bit with two bars coming down from it. That's another temple area, but it's unclear. It was unclear to you who that was. Eric's, you know exactly who it is. That is actually dedicated to Nyx, who is a titan, not a goddess. Nyx was the titan of the night. She actually wanted to steal Hades from Rhea when she gave birth to her at the dawn of time. So she's always been covetous in a motherly sense. She was like the first child kidnapper. She was always covetous of Hades. However, the reason why you guys had her down here was because for sleepers, night would be very important. So you wanted to go ahead and celebrate her.
Okay, so the downstairs of the temple is Nyx and Hermes.
Yes.
Okay, if Magnus doesn't have any objection, I would like to go upstairs
to the greater temple.
Yeah, because if he's never seen it,
Magnus. Yeah, you'd heard a lot about it, but you've never been there because obviously their graciousness to let you into their holy sites was only went so far.
Okay.
And this was specifically for Persephone and for Hades.
Hold on, forgive me. I forgot that Eric's communicated to Raymar that one stairway was new construction to him.
Yes.
Is there anything special do both stairways go back up?
No, the one goes down.
Goes down further than the downfall.
Yeah.
And he's never been down there.
Never.
No.
Oh, okay. Forget going up. Let's check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your group begins to head downward.
We must be careful. This may be dangerous. You are the champion, but there were quite a few creatures that were brought here to protect the temple.
I put Monty in the front.
I'll go with her. Norak says and nods to you.
And Brother Karak coming up the back.
He looks over at you, Eric, and says, looks at you, and in Greek he says, protect. Protect.
I smile at him.
He looks at you, and the look he has on his face afterwards is kind of like, man, I hope I got that right.
And I tell him in common, thank you.
Right. He nods. He looks over back at you, Raymar, and says, you think we should get this guy a weapon? I mean, he's just got that rod.
I get the feeling he's capable.
All right, good. Okay, well, I guess we're leading on. You guys head down the stairway, and you see what you see on the screen. Would you like to head left, or would you like to head right?
Magnus, what do you think here?
Eric, so you've never been here before. You're not feeling anything from your gods that they're impelling you in any direction.
So, can I look at the stonework and whatnot? I mean, I'm going to imagine that since there were frescoes and murals and carvings all over the rest of the temple, that there might be something like that here that might indicate what the purpose was for it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when you get down here at the bottom, the wall at the back of the at the bottom of the stairs, as you reach down there is a bas relief that's there. The bas relief features about 5 or 6 different heroes, and you can recognize some of them: Bellerophon, Perseus, Aspardion. You see them all circling this massive creature, and they're attacking it. It looks like at the end of it that someone has summoned this great hand, and it's pulled the creature to earth and bound it there. That's all you get.
Okay.
And the creature was titanic in size.
All right, I'll walk up to it and put my hand on it and kind of trace the outline of its size and what it is.
Yeah.
Something large here. Something very dangerous. Something that even the champion Asperion and other comrades had difficulty containing has been brought here.
Lyra slithers up your arm and up the rod to length over to the top so she can kind of just flick the air. As she does that, you can tell that she thinks that there's something to the north.
Okay. I'll kind of look at her.
The sense of danger is there.
And then I'll just turn and I'll point in that direction.
Norak looks back at you. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to follow Eric's lead on this.
He goes, all right, I'm heading out that way, guys. Says,
is
something
the
should
danger
happen.
north?
Something should happen. He goes, I'm going to go to the right against the wall. So that way you guys can fire, lob oil, or whatever you have to. All right.
Keep your shield up.
Yeah. You begin down the hallway.
How big are the hallways here? Are they like 10
foot
feet?
wide. Yeah, 10 foot wide. As you get there, you see a large kind of circular room with 4 points on it. 3 points, I should say. And the fourth is part of the wall. At that point, in the middle of the room, there is a 9-pointed arrow on the ground. Right away, you recognize it as the holy symbol of Hecate.
Okay. Not me, I assume.
No.
Yeah,
Eric's, you recognize it. The goddess of crossroads, the witch goddess, the first sorceress.
Do I get a feeling of magic from it?
Yes, you get a very strong feeling of magic, of binding magic.
And this is where it is bound.
Norik looks down at you, looks over at you. Keep going.
Eric's?
So, is it loose?
No, it's just,
okay.
It's like it's engraved into the ground.
I mean, is the creature loose if it's not here near its binding circle?
It must be, you think, if it was really bound here, or maybe this is just part of a greater
or this is an anchor
magical
point
diagram.
Yeah, like an anchor point. Okay.
It could very well be, because now you're thinking about it. You're thinking about the way that the figures were situated on the.
Yeah. Okay.
This might be where, for example, where Bellerophon was.
Okay. All right. I'll point all that out.
Continue on, Rainmar.
I'm not really sure I'm in charge here anymore, because I think Eric's has a little better shot at figuring out what the level of danger is and what are your thoughts there, Eric's?
This binding is still holding.
Okay. Is it does it function as kind of like a leash or a chain?
Hard to say. You haven't memorized a spell. Detect magic yet, so.
My guess is more like a post for a fence.
Okay. And it's, in other words, if it's loose in this part of the temple, does it probably have the ability to go up?
No, I don't think so. This seems as if it's still strong, so perhaps still active. I think we're now in its lair, and I would say that if you have not encountered it yet, then it has not learned to escape.
Will you continue on?
What do you think, Eric?
Norik says, I can keep going if you want.
What do you think, Magnus?
Now that we know more about this, I think we should discuss it further. Let's go back upstairs for now.
Okay.
So we'll not retreat, but we'll reposition in the Temple of Hermes.
Okay, so you guys go back up to the Temple of Hermes. And now I will go back to the other group. The other group. Morning comes streaming through your windows. All of you have had a chance to sleep. Brixton, Arion, Kalaya, what spells do you memorize for the day?
I am doing...
This is probably one of the more important choices of the game for you guys so far, just so you know.
Right. I am going to memorize Bless, Leveling the Bow, Darkness, and Cause Fear.
Ooh. Bless, Leveling, Cause Fear, and what?
Darkness.
Okay. What about you, Brixton?
Oh, I'm looking.
Okay, as you're doing it, then Agrias. Standard? Or you want to do something different?
Man, every time you say Agrias, my head goes into the darkness.
Kalaya.
I'm going to do Burning Hands, and sleep.
Sleep. Excellent choices. And how about you, Brixton?
Can I ask some questions?
Of course you may.
What happens if you enlarge a person in first edition?
They get bigger and they get stronger. And they get
You did that to an orc, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, just to jam a doorway, but I wonder if that would help, if I should use it for our John boy.
Magnus, at one point in time, Brixton he was getting attacked by orcs, and he took a dead orc and cast enlarge on him.
I tuned in for that one. I remember it was, and I remember that they actually had to dig through him to get through into the room.
It was horrific.
There was so much gore. It was amazing.
I love it.
Question for you, Carlos.
Go for it.
Did we have any? I mean, I still have a couple vials of white pitch, but did the captain, were we able to find any in this area?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Yeah. What's on your guys' sheet? Brixton, what do you got, buddy?
I guess I wasn't fast enough at looking, hey?
Yeah, that's okay. You can tell me before we get there. As long as you tell me before we get there, it's fine.
I'm gonna ready 2 of those experimentals with some of that white pitch.
Okay. What do you got, Brixton?
Did I find out any information about them?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, this is what you and actually, what did you guys both get on your 20s? That when I asked you for those.
Oh yeah, 12.
12. And what'd you get, Ariane?
19.
Okay. Ariane, nobody seemed to want to talk about them to you. And it looks like they had been very forcibly persuaded not to talk.
Okay, so do I now, as far as do I get the impression that, as far as this goes, I'm figuring that the populace that I've talked to is afraid of them.
Very afraid of them.
But do I also get the impression that they might not like them at all?
No, you get the impression that they think they're pretty in awe of them, actually. They're the best champions they've ever seen.
Well, I'm not saying that as in that champion, type of thing. I'm trying to get the feel of the people around.
Yeah, they didn't want to talk about it at all. They really didn't betray too much to you at all.
Well, I'm just trying to get an overall feel as far as what these, they're wondering, zombies, this.
Yeah.
If the other populace here is of not of a like alignment, is there some kind of a weird contention there? Or?
There is a little bit of a weirdness there. They've rented a manor though deeper into the village, and so they keep to themselves. They try to keep to themselves.
I'm just trying to get an idea. It's like, okay, no. This. I'm guessing this is like a death match type of thing.
It is like a death match type of thing.
But do we get even though we signed waivers, do I get the feeling of there might be recompense of?
No, you definitely don't get the feeling there's going to be recompense. You definitely get that opinion. No one's going to come after you if you kill these guys.
Okay.
Brixton, this is what you find out about them. Whereas Ariane found out that nobody really wanted to talk about them, you actually managed to find some of their fans.
Oh.
And they were eager to talk about them.
Nice.
They said that one of them is a cleric of Arithmal. One of them is a warlord that seems to be like an unholy warrior. One of them seems to be some kind of a magic user. And one of them is some kind of he may be permanently invisible.
Okay.
So nobody knows what he looks like. He comes in there, he's all shrouded in garb, and then he just takes it off and he's invisible.
And then anything about the familiar?
No, nobody seems to think that the guy has a familiar. No one's ever seen him fight, but if you're gonna bring a familiar, we can't wait because that means they're gonna bring in one of their guys.
Well, I don't know who's bringing a familiar on our side, but
Well, hold on for a second. Did they make you sign that paper?
what paper?
About the where you send your stuff if you die. Because I'd just make sure that's up to date if I were you. They all kind of look at each other and chuckle a little bit.
What, did you want my stuff when I die? I can write down your address.
Oh, no. I want nothing to do with you, pal. If you're going in there against the Chimera Covenant, I want no part of you.
Oh, I'm not going against them. I'm going to watch. Do you guys bet?
Oh, you're just going there to bet? Oh, yeah. You just go across the street. Talk to Severin in there.
Bet?
Huh?
Do you guys bet?
Yeah, of course we bet. But I wouldn't bet on these four bums.
Well, no, but you would bet on the Chimeras, right?
Of course, I'm betting heavy on the Chimeras.
How much?
He kind of looks at you a little bit. He goes, enough.
Do you want to make a bet?
Nice.
Is this like an outside kind of thing?
I mean, are we inside right now?
How much you want? Hey,
How much are you willing to lose?
Tavis, don't. No. This guy wants to be an idiot. He thinks he's funny. Let's do this. How much you got?
That is a good question.
I got 15 silver on the Chimeras. Talk to me.
You should bet body parts.
You're right.
That's a good bet.
Come on, Gnome, are you broke?
No, I'll do it.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not broke.
Let's see 15.
How about 20? Can you afford 20?
A gold? Sure. I'll put a gold down. Tavis,
Yeah.
come on. Don't bet what we don't have. No. These guys are
you
going to
don't
lose.
have?
These guys are going to... No, we got the money. He's just saying he doesn't think we can afford to lose it. He said he puts out a gold. He puts it on the bar. He says, keep. He goes, we got a bet going on. You're the witness.
Okay. I'll put my gold coin down too.
Barkeep pulls out his little slip of paper, writes down, and says, what's your name, buddy?
Mine?
Yeah.
They call me Half Pint.
Half pint, right. Half pint, bet a gold is safekeeping for me. What about you? Tavis McCalvey. Tavis. You know that half this is going to your tab, right? Yeah, I know. All right. If you win, that is. All right, Tavis, that's one gold, and I got it right here. It'll be behind the bar. What do you got, Kalia?
Matt, you should bet that a gold piece and that you'll clear his tab.
Yeah, but what else am I going to get from it?
A whole lot
You
of
can put
money.
up the tab as much as you want.
Hey, you want a side bet, lady? He looks at you. He goes, "Oh, you guys had some big mouths before about this new team. I don't even think this team has a name.
Hey,
Look
Matt,
at all these ads. They got four. They got the four strangers.
We are called the Ass Kickers.
You? I thought you were dead.
Whoa. How about, let's raise our bet.
What are we talking about?
me.
Let's do 5 gold.
They gotta get quiet and they look at each other. Tavis says, all right, 5 gold it is. It's a sucker bet, but all right, fine.
All right.
He goes, he goes, make sure we give this to the barkeep, though. I don't want you skipping out on this bet.
No, I put down 5 gold.
He reaches in. He ends up having to do the last one in silver, the last gold, 20 silver pieces. He goes, all right, there it is, 5 gold.
And I'll clear your tab if you win.
Barkeep says, hold on for a second. He goes, I've been a good sport about this and everything, but I got to let you know. He says, this guy's got a 10 silver bar tab. You're all right with that?
Well, I just put down 5 gold. That's nothing.
He drinks
Sorry,
like fish.
Mr. Moneybags.
And he smells like fish.
Sorry.
And then I just
Sorry.
kind of fit my hat. And then I'd like to go buy a couple bags of flour.
Flour? Yeah, you go to
Yeah.
the general store and you buy some flour.
Okay. I'm going to buy 4 bags of flour.
What, you gonna bake yourself a cake to make yourself feel better after you lose all that money? You hear him yell at you as you leave the
No,
bar.
you eat cake in celebration.
Yeah, might not want to buy too much then. He leaves.
Did I hear any of that?
Yeah, you hear a little bit of it as he.
I nudge him as he goes off. Says, "Get me a bag or two, small one."
Yeah, that's my plan.
Okay, so you go over to the first thing to the baker's.
Is this part of our name? Like cake making ass kickers?
You know, John Paul, it's fitting.
Melina says, "I think that's a great idea. How about like something like?
I love cake.
How about something like the death cupcakes or something?"
I kissed John Paul on the cheek.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna give the group a rundown.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give everybody a bag of flour to make sure that they know that it's good to cover things that can't be seen.
Okay. So you give everybody a bag of flour. You guys end up going over to the over to the arena.
Sorry.
By the time you get to the arena, you see that there's this guy walking around. Get your Death Cupcakes merchandise! Get your Death Cupcakes merchandise, everybody! Come on! Only one copper for Death Cupcake shirt. They're going fast. You may not see them again in this area. You don't even know, they could be our next champions.
Luke needs to be here.
Yeah.
Hey, you little guy! You want a Death Cupcake shirt?
I am a Death Cupcake shirt.
All right. Anybody want a Death Cupcake shirt? They're going fast. They're going fast. Just made them this morning. He's walking around.
Oh, here's one other question. What happens if as far as the familiars go, are they allowed to attack the actual other combatants too?
Yes, that's the rules. The familiars can attack whoever they want.
Matt, what were you going to say?
I tell that to Toby, our little buddy, and have at her.
Okay. So the group is going to go fight in the arena. The whole bunch of you guys. You show up at the arena.
Carlos,
Matt.
Sorry.
Yeah, Matt.
Prior, I just have a couple things I want to do before dinner. I have Aurora in my bag, correct?
Oh, you're going to go and collect her at sunrise?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to be able to fit that in
Hold on for just a second. Let me do a quick calculation.
And is that a smart idea? Do I need to make an intelligence check on that?
Oh no, I'm just doing a quick. Calculation on the weight of water of that size.
Quick bio. Be right back.
64 pounds per square foot, right, Magnus?
One gallon's 8 pounds.
Yeah, but a square foot of water is 64 pounds. That's what I need to know. Yeah, you know what? Actually, you could actually fit her in there. You can't fit anything else in there, but you can fit her in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
you pour her entirely in there. When you pour her entirely in there and you close the drawstring, you feel no connection between the two of you.
What if I leave the drawstring open a bit?
She's going to slosh around a little bit. But
I said, now, who's all going to be of our little group that arrived on the ship? Who's around?
It's all three of you, and plus John Paul, and
right.
You can see that Sharissa is walking up to the arena at this point in time.
Well, what I'm getting at is who's not going to be combatant.
Yeah,
Melina and Sharissa are not involved in the combat.
Thank God.
Have them hold the bag.
That's it. Yeah, I got what you're putting down.
Okay. So you go ahead, you do that, Brixton. Melina says, yeah, I'll make sure to hold the bag.
And make sure it stays open.
Okay, I can do that.
But don't spill her.
Okay, I'll make sure we don't spill her.
And I asked Captain if there's anything I should know about the hat before going into a fight.
I guess we're going to find out, won't we?
I guess so.
She smiles as she tips her own hat and walks in. You see her looking around for someone. She opens up her parasol.
I'm gonna put my potion on a bandolier so that it's quick access for me.
You got it.
I'm gonna coat one of the obsidian hand crossbow tips in the kobold poison we found in Mir Freyson.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tip a few of my short bow
Magnus, John Paul, make me a 20-sider roll.
10.
You notice that Brixton is coating one of his black-tipped arrows in some kind of weird substance.
I didn't do this in secret?
No, you didn't tell me you did.
Okay.
So will John Paul have anything to say about that? Or not?
That is for making the death cake, is it not?
I know he doesn't like poison. So
Can I just like touch it and like put a little bit on my tongue?
Yeah.
I don't let him.
No, okay.
I say this is it's from my tribe, my gnomish fighting tribe. It's just a way that we get our weapons ready with paint to leave them up.
Like half pint ass kickitude juice.
Yes. You got it.
So
You are strange but clever, little new friend.
Thank you.
So you guys are standing in front of this great set of double doors, probably about maybe 20 feet wide and about 40 feet high. Inside of the arena, you guys can start to hear cheers. Go ahead, Arion.
Right before we end up going into combat, I want to bless the four of us.
Okay. Hold up the holy symbol. You can kind of feel whether or not the others can feel it or not. You feel that the energy kind of roll through you. But more than that, what's overpowering is that sensation of the crowd. You can almost feel it like it's pushing like an invisible force against your chest as they're beginning to come to life inside. What do you got, Brixton?
I got my spells.
Okay, what do you got?
I'm going to do haze twice.
What did you say? Did you say haste?
Haze.
I was going to say, that's a 3rd level spell, man. Try again. Okay,
Yeah,
you got haze twice.
I'm going to do haze twice, fire finger once for my cantrips. And then I'm going to do color spray and phantasmal force.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so the group is standing in front of these double doors. There's 2 guards standing on the other side of the double doors, and the man that you met before that was kind of in charge of things. And he looks at the 4 of you and says the following. He says, okay, this is how this is going to work. We're going to open the doors. You guys are going to walk in. When you walk in, we're going to introduce you. The other group is going to be, you probably know all this, big guy, but I'll tell it for the rest of the guys. Everybody else, we're going to introduce the other group as the champions after we introduce you. Afterwards, one of the referees will be in the middle of the battlefield. And after that, anything goes. Looks at you for, do you have any questions?
I have a out-of-character question real quick, Carlos.
Go ahead.
So, since the last time I was here, it did not go so well. Can I be sort of like thinking and observing what maybe was different than the average normal time that I didn't pay attention to last time? Like, are there any rules that this guy is saying is any different? Is he sort of looking around funny?
No, he doesn't say anything that was any different, but you do feel something different. Make me a 20-sider.
Okay. 8.
Before, when you went in, there were a couple guys on your team that were kind of joking. They were laughing a little bit. You guys have been champions for about 3 months, okay? Everybody was real relaxed. Everybody was very... it almost seemed like a couple of you maybe didn't take it seriously enough.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are taking it very seriously.
Sure.
You haven't known them very long, but they all seem very professional and squared away. Particularly the elf, the tall elvish woman that's among you, who hasn't really said anything this whole time. Her eyes, the way that she kind of looks at things, you can tell that she just deconstructs things when she looks at them. She's very, she's got that kind of that assassin's vibe about her.
Okay. I mean, I can tell that already because there's honestly nothing that's more serious than cupcakes.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, before you guys go in, he goes, can I interest you guys in a Death Cupcake shirt?
I don't wear shirts. They don't fit.
Oh, yeah. What about you? Well, no, it wouldn't fit you either. What about you? You two.
No.
But you,
Somebody's got.
tall drink of water there, Elf. Yeah? Death Cupcake?
I'll buy one.
Oh, good. Yeah. 1 copper for the Death Cupcake shirt. Look at that. Make sure you wear it around. I want everybody to see that so they can, we can drum up a little bit more sales here. Things haven't been very brisk.
I mean, somebody's got to take a souvenir of this event.
I happen to have a real small one. It's like just for the size of a kid. So it'll be perfect for you.
Oh, what the hell? Yeah, as long as you got a pale green one.
Oh, I got all kinds of them, man. I got blue, I got green, I got pink, I got purple. You look great in purple, buddy. Look at this. I mean, this is a handsome color.
No, it'll be light green, and if by that, I'll hand it to Sure.
All right. See, hey, I told you we're gonna make some sales over this.
Are you buying the ones that have the same size as our enemies? Because after we kick their asses, we should make them wear our shirts.
Bury them in our shirts.
Melina looks at you guys before she leaves. She goes, maybe you should make one into a flag or something, and walks away.
Can I say so I can rip it away and spray it?
What's that, Brixton? One more time.
I'm gonna keep the flower on front of my person so that I can quickly have it attached so that I can rip the bag and.
Ariane, what did you say then?
I was gonna say it's like they'll just have to sew the arms together because they'll need to use them as a bag to haul them away.
Oh God!
Nice.
Okay, the doors open, and as the doors open, you see that this place is absolutely immense. You walk in to the place.
What's the length breadth of this arena?
We're going to get there in just a second.
Oh.
But
you're going to put it up on...
Yeah. You see an absolutely immense arena. It looks like it's maybe 250 feet on each side. It is big. So, there we go. That is a high-level view of it. I will zoom in as necessary for when we get into combat. But that's what you see, the bunch of you. It's about 250 feet long. The crowd is all on the outside of that ring. The crowd is cheering. They're going bananas out there. There's a couple thousand people at least out there. And they're all cheering. Go ahead, Brixton. What do you got?
Just out of game. My Twitch has been disconnecting.
Okay. I see that your feed actually is a little bit inconsistent right now, period.
Okay, so I just wanted you to know that I don't think I'm gonna get many live updates on the map.
That's okay. I will for you. I will definitely hit with some specifics.
Question for you, Carlos.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
On the leveling the bowl.
Yeah.
For duration, it says special. Was that like I thought it was like so many turns or whatever. No, it says it just had this one time thing.
No, it's not a one-time use. So what it was meant by that is it's a one-turn use.
One turn?
Yeah, it's a one-turn use. My mistake.
Okay.
So that's a 10-minute period of time. So anyway,
okay.
Your group is.
I was do this as a initial.
Yeah.
Since I'm guessing the other group is across the arena.
Yes, they are.
When they're within that particular like a bow range, I'm casting it on myself, so I'll be able to, because I'm figuring I'm going to get into melee, but I want to do ranged at this.
You'll be getting into melee pretty fast as far as that goes. So okay,
so I'm going to be casting that on myself.
I got you.
Right initially, so I get ranged attack.
Got it. Is everyone is getting themselves ready? The crowd is going crazy everywhere. You guys are hearing the fans are going. They're starting to chant for the Chimera Covenant. It's just a very the whole gladiatorial aspect of this is very evident at this point in time. So you guys are hearing this all. Everybody, It's just this sense of something crazy is about to happen at any second. They introduced the Covenant. The Covenant is composed of 3 people that you see in front of you. And as they said, there's an obvious guy that is a fighter type. He's wearing a plate mail. He's got a heavy shield that's covered in black leather. Got a bastard sword, full helm. There is a cleric back there that you saw the other day. She's wearing splint mail, and she's glaring at the rest of your group right now, particularly Arion and John Paul. The other individual that is there is an obvious magic user type. He's standing at the rear of the group and just kind of coolly assessing all of you. He hasn't really said anything, just kind of watching you. But the fans are introducing them, and they wave and everything like that. And then they introduce you. And the only people that cheer for you are Sharissa, Molina, and the guys that are selling the shirts. It's dead silent besides that.
Can I cheer for me?
Yeah, you can cheer for you. But you can obviously hear their voices. They're like, "Yay, go Princeton, go Princeton!" Besides that, everybody else is quiet. Yeah, Arion, go get him, sister, get him. You hear all that. Go get him, John Paul. But everything else is dead silent. So, your group is waiting there for combat, and as we get you ready for combat, I will move to the other group. Going back to the temple. You guys leave the temple and you go back up to the area where Hermes' temple is.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
What do I notice about Eric's in terms of mien and expression and all of that? What do I notice about him?
I don't know, Eric. So why don't you tell me? What is your expression? And you're like, what is your what's your feeling?
What's he wearing? What's he carrying? What do I get out of this?
Okay, well, what you feel about him is he seems like he's carrying that rod, and the serpent is curled around it. He's got these sandals on that lace up like the ones Asperian wears. He wears robes, kind of like a half-shoulder robe, white. Has a helmet on with wings on it, much like the statue of his god. But besides that, he just kind of has this kind of weird melancholy to him, like he's remembering things and kind of out of his element a bit.
Okay. Can I? Well, I'd like to go. Now that I know that I've mapped the downstairs of the temple, I ask if he'd be willing to accompany me to the upstairs of the temple, because it's the only part that I haven't been able to map yet.
I would be honored to.
Okay.
As the new champion of this temple, I would be honored to see it. I was not allowed to see it before, as I was not of their faith.
Your group begins to make your way back through the and I'm going to get rid of the fog of war again on the map, so that you can see the entirety of the map. You make your way through the temple, and you end up at the stairway where my cursor is right now. Did you want to go through Asperian's room to get there?
No.
Okay.
My friend.
You didn't interrupt Asperian, which means by doing that, Eric's, you walk by the 2 corridors that go north, behind which the Minotaur's Labyrinth was. It's kind of got a kind of creepy feeling to knowing what was once there. Kind of gives you this weird, unsettled feeling, but besides everything is fine.
Did Asperian tell you what the purpose of our temple was?
Well, he implied that you fled with the helm, and the temple was built up in part to protect the helm, to hide it and protect it.
Yes. Good.
Can I ask, what was your vocation 4,000 seasons ago?
I was a doctor.
Medicine man.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So
messenger.
if we get hurt, you can medicine us up.
Yes.
Got it.
Do you use magics or herbal remedies or?
Yes, to all the above. There's not much difference between them.
Interesting.
Science and magic. It is all in one in the eyes of the gods.
And I just write that down as if it's the most important thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, you write it down, and it seems when you say that, everybody almost seems to have understand there's a certain gravity in that. There's kind of a quiet in the air after he says that. Soon enough, you're in front of the stairway. The stairway leads upward, and there is kind of like a weird unlight up there, like a shadowy flickering light that comes from that up the stairs, issues down in shadow towards you. You're pretty sure that when you were here before and looked up the stairs, you did not see that before.
Is it similar to other things that I've seen in the temple where by interacting with it, it sort of comes to life?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm assuming that after 4,000 years, this is maybe a bad assumption given the nature of the temple, but Eric's probably doesn't have any fresh herbs on him.
No, Eric's does not.
I'm going to offer him what I have on me. I've got Wolf's Bane, and I have the chrysanthemum petals.
What he has on him and what he gives you, you feel like you could probably render a cure light with.
Excellent. Good.
You're at the foot of the stairway.
As I go, so Magnus, you're picking up Common. The paperwork I'm also giving you has Elvish on it, so there's three languages. And as we go, I'm just gonna everything I jot down, I'm gonna share with Eric's so that we can sort of
build a mutual vocabulary.
Right.
Yeah, because it'll make it easier in the future.
So your group is at the foot of the stairs. You're sharing your vocabulary. You're getting yourself ready to plumb the upstairs. Meanwhile, the other group is just through the doors. The introductions have been made. The referee is moving to the middle of the battlefield, and the fight is about to commence.
Oh, we're back to us now.
No, because that is where we're going to end our session for the evening.
It's already.
Gentlemen, what a great session this was. You guys got a lot done tonight. A lot of exploration, a lot of lore got done again in Jeremy's part of it, in Raymar's part of it. The action is about to well and truly begin in the other group's part of it. Before we go any further, everybody out there who watched us this evening, thanks so much for watching us. I tell you guys this every episode, but I really appreciate your support and watching our group play. And I really want to thank especially our special guest tonight, Magnus Miller-Wilson. Magnus, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks
we
for
really,
having me.
really appreciate it.
He's coming.
Every time you show up, you bring the noise. You're a great player. We love having you here with us. If you want to play in the next session, you're probably going to be welcome to do that because there's a little bit of unfinished business. But besides that, we'll be back on our normal schedule because either these guys are going to live or die, and your situation with Raymar will be resolved.
We still need to bake the death cupcakes, and they're not even gluten-free.
And everybody remember, they're out in the audience. If you guys want an official merchandise, official logo, Death Cupcake shirt. I mean, look at this. Death flavored cupcakes. I mean, are you kidding me? So you guys can all wear these out in the crowd, and you guys can cheer on Brixton and Kalaya and Arion and Jean-Paul the way that they should be cheered on. So remember, Death colored.
So does a black shirt like that come with a white cupcake on it, I'm guessing?
Yep, just for $1 That's the low price of $1 All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching us tonight. And everybody, if you guys would like to stay on so I can say my goodbyes properly for the evening, please do. Everybody out there in the crowd, doesn't look like there's anybody out there in Twitch for us to raid this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just move to close. So have a great evening, and thanks for everybody one more time.
Thank you.